I did a quick round robin there of the first quarter. Can I just get us back to sort of more, I think, more salient issues? I looked at volatility. We looked at it at 6 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. This is VIX index, up 50% at one juncture. And we ended up on the day up 14%. And the S&P got a bit of a battering from the technology stocks. What do you make of the volatility? I mean, surely it's a good thing. This market was ripe for a little bit of an adjustment. Bit of vol never killed anybody.
Volatility is here. It's suddenly appeared in the last few days. We've had the VIX hovering around 10 for quite some time. It spiked to 15. It's kind of mellowed. The reality of the situation, though, is that volatility is based on historic data. It's not a reflection on what's actually going on right now. And often it's misinterpreted in that regard, too. We have some volatility. Everybody is long cash. You've seen some hawkish comments. You've seen some fund flows. So, of course, you get some volatility. But keep it in context. Remember that we have now the end of the quarter. We're at the half-year stage. We've got Q2 earnings numbers about to come out. We're expecting good revenue growth, good earnings numbers. And that is what drives share price appreciation, not volatility and not hawkish comments from central banks.
Okay, so it's going to be down to the earnings side on the equities. I mean, I think it's been the best. The notes that I was doing in terms of the equity markets, it's been the best start for equities since, what, 1998? We're up 19%. I mean, these are some of the charts on the asset classes. So you got your equities there belting away at the top. MSCI, all-world index, as I say. Global stocks were up best first half in 19 years. A, do you still want to be long? Where do you want to be long? B, commodities. I love what Goldman Sachs wrote this morning. How do we get it so wrong? Never get it wrong, just temporarily incorrect, I say. But if you look at commodities, we look at the bond market, we look at the equity markets. Take me forward for the next 6 months. You say the central bankers don't matter. I put it to you, sir, that they do. I put it to you that they do in terms of moving markets.
Analysts, of course, say matter in terms of interest rate sentiment, which then indirectly impacts on the bond markets and also the currency markets, which then impact on capital flows. But remember, we're investors over the long term, and
yes,
we look at fundamentals, and the fundamental picture hasn't changed just because of a hawkish comment. The market has been expecting rate hikes in the US at the beginning of each year for the last 2 or 3 years, and they haven't delivered, which is why the bond markets have done what they have done, and they are so expensive. You've got a little bit of volatility based on some hawkish comments. I've seen Carney's comments change from 1 week to another week to another week. 1 week he's hawkish, the next week he's dovish, the next week he's hawkish again.
Is he spending his credibility chips?
I think he is. He's changed his mind. I was listening to the Manchin speech, and then I was listening to his hawkish comments yesterday, and I just thought, are we talking to the same person? And what's really changed in the markets for him to suddenly change his view in that way? Inflation's still at 2.9%. That hasn't changed. The Brexit uncertainty is still there. That hasn't changed. What's been going on in the commodities market with oil prices, and of course oil is very meaningful in the UK because there are a number of constituents in the FTSE 100 that are energy related, so it does have an impact. But nothing has really changed fundamentally for him to be changing his views in the way that he is changing his views.